Hello again, and welcome to the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Um, First off, I just want to put out a small disclaimer. Uh, Binding of Isaac is not going to become standard content. I'm not changing over to a Binding of Isaac channel. Blah blah blah. The most standard that the Binding of Isaac will become is I might use it as kind of like a blogging background thing. Just I don't even want to say like I'd be pre-record it and then play it in the background. Like I'm probably just gonna actually just sit here and play it while I'm doing it or while I'm talking, because one, that's a little easier because it's like my mind's distracted a little bit, so I don't end up thinking about something too much and then like getting lost in a like well yeah you get what I'm talking about. Like I don't end up getting lost in a bunch of nice bullshit rabbit holes because my mind's slightly taken up by, well, not getting killed by stupid shit. That and I've been playing tons of this game, and with Afterbirth coming out relatively soon, I have no clue when Afterbirth's coming out actually. They did just release the whole Lilith teaser, I think, last week, so this week we might end up either finding out about Lilith or maybe even like a release date. Or hell, maybe they have put out a release date. I'm like not the biggest Binding of Isaac fan in the world, but I do play it a lot. I guess that's one of the great things about video games. Like I can be a moderate fan of something and not be like completely into it. Whereas like television or something, like yeah, you can be a brony without buying all the stuff, but I mean, for the most part, you still like you want to continue learning about your thing. You're gonna continue being updated and looking up all that information. Be like, yeah, you're gonna continue reading and or at least continue watching the show, either live or like through streaming or something. But with like video games, oh, I bought the game. I played the Elder Scrolls 17 New York, a Fallout sequel, or yes, I realize that's made up, but like I could play Skyrim without any of the updates, without any of the for days, and be a massive fan of it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, when you're comparing me to a person who's purchased every bit of DLC and read every single book, compared to a person who has maxed out a dozen characters and stuff, I mean, like, well, all of them are video game fans. And that's, like, something you can't really say about any other medium, because, oh, well, this person didn't go see all of the Star Wars movies. They're less of a Star Wars fan than somebody who did see all of the Star Wars movies. And, like, that's an actual, like, a decent critique for moviegoers. Is, oh, yeah, you didn't watch all of the Star Wars movies? Well, then you literally missed out on massive chunks of that lore. Whereas with a video game, well, yeah, you missed out on a couple of things from Skyrim. Well, the majority of the lore was still in the base game, and all the stuff that was released in DLC you could just have looked up. Anyway, I'm playing the game to prevent going on tangents like that, and then I go on one. Talking about why I'm playing the game. Oh wow, I am completely backwards. Anyway, but yeah. Not planning on making this into standard content, but I do play it, so I might make it into like a vlog background. That was so easy, Steven. Why didn't you just say that the first time? Idiot. Okay, so And one of the reasons I'm making this video is because it has been like almost 2 weeks since I've made a previous video. And there really isn't anything left for me, or left. There really isn't much for me to make videos about. Heroes of the Storm, like they have that, like the Eternal War or Conflict or whatever is coming out relatively soon. The Diablo expansion. Well, it wouldn't be an expansion, would it? It would be like the Diablo theme event. Because they're planning on releasing a ton of Diablo characters and whatnot. And, like, that sounds great. And, like, they have the Butcher coming out. I think they said the Butcher's coming out at the end of the month. June 30th was when the Eternal Conflict starts. And I think that's when the Butcher's going to come out, as well as the Eternal Conflict map. Of course, like, the exact dates of individual pieces of it launching it could be different, but you get the point at that. So yeah, that's what we're waiting for at the moment. With Broforce, we just got a new bro, and bros I don't want to say bros take a while, but bros kind of take a while. So it could be a little while before we actually see it. We see another bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna even do that. I'm gonna hope for some good angel. Oh my god. I hate you now. I really hate you now. If I would have gotten that freaking Guppy Tail first, I'd have been like, yep, that's what we're doing right now. I am totally being carried by Little Brim. I have no problem with that. Yeah, anyway, as I said, or as I was saying, it's been a while, almost 2 weeks, and it's a little bit weird, because I'm like, well, one of the main reasons that I'm so infrequent with my videos is basically because this is a hobby. Actually, wait, this is open? Why is that open? I'm probably not thinking. I'm Kane, that's probably... Just gonna shut up now. Anyway, as I was saying, it's been a while, and I don't want to make it be like, yeah, well, I'm only making this video because I haven't made a video in a while, because that's technically true, but this is more of like an update and like, hey, this is why I haven't made a video in a while, in less of a, haha, I haven't made a video in a while, here's one. But yeah, as I was saying, one of the big reasons why I don't make videos so often is plain and simple because, like, this is a hobby. I mean, it's a pretty good hobby. I get to basically do what I'd probably be doing anyway. Like, yeah, I'm doing what I'd probably have been doing anyway had I not been making YouTube videos of me playing video games. But at the same time, now there's a chance for me to make a little bit of money off of it. I haven't yet, but there's that chance. And I've kind of been like trying to look into my player base, I guess would be a great, or viewer base. And it's been a little bit of a sticky position for me because Like, for the most part, if you look at, like, some of the bigger names in, YouTube, you got, like, I'm just gonna say some of the ones I'm subscribed to, but you got, like, I'm not subscribed to him, actually, but you got Markiplier, you got Jesse Cox, you got, PewDiePie. Only subscribed to one of those three. Guess which one? But yeah, like, there are tons of, like, YouTubers and stuff that are doing Let's Plays competitively. I have, like, virtually nothing above any of them. Oh, that's nice. And that's kind of, like, a big problem when it comes into this world, because, I mean, why would you want to watch me when you could watch somebody like PewDiePie, who's entertaining, or somebody like Jesse Cox, or, well, Markiplier, or just any of the Let's Players, the Game Grumps and stuff. Like, those people have personalities, but more than just having personalities, they're entertainers. And, like, that's kind of a difference. I'm not an entertainer. Never really was interested in entertaining people. However, I'm more of like a tutor, I guess would probably be a good way to say it. So, like, I've decided that for the most part, the audience I'm wanting to reach is something closer to, well, not closer to, but something a little bit similar to, like, the audience that TV's reached. I don't want to take his audience. That just would be bad. But what I do want is to kind of have that whole niche position where I am sitting there and going, hey, you're coming to this channel to learn something, not because I entertain you. So I have, like, my character show-off videos, like the Storm Talk and the Bro View. And I have the character creation... Did I? Oh, no, that was I feel dumb now. I have that, and I also have the character creation thing, which is on hiatus, but hopefully will be returning soon-ish. I'll get into that in a moment. But yeah. It's also one of those weird things, because, like, this whole month I've been busy out the balls. If you live in the States, you might have heard. You live outside of them, you might also have heard, but, I mean, I'm not gonna get mad if you haven't. But at the end of May, beginning of June, there was, like, some massive flooding in Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, Arkansas. Was it Arkansas? But mostly, like, the southern Oklahoma, and upper or northern Texas, like the part of it that cups Oklahoma, at least from what I can tell, seems to have been the worst hit parts. Coincidentally, I also live there, so it's pretty much the one I paid attention to. So I could be completely wrong with them. The whole, coincidentally, the parts that were hit worst, like, I could just been like, well, I only paid attention to this because it was me. But I mean, my whole, like, I got pretty lucky. My town, for the most part, only a couple of roads were flooded. My neighborhood personally got, like, evacuated because of the floods, but my house wasn't touched, or the house I live in wasn't touched. The neighbors, like, 3 houses down, however, ended up having, like, some major damage. I think they said they were looking at, like, $25,000 worth of water damage alone. and I think like I'm trying to think what was said, because it was actually said at like the whole neighborhood meeting thingy. But I think somebody threw out the number of something like, in total, there was something like $300,000 worth of damage caused by the flood to like 30 different houses or 20 different houses or something like that. Basically, it was a really big number, but when you think about the fact that it ended up like it affected like 50 different people, or like more than 50 people. So like we're like if it's 20 and you're assuming like 3 or 4 people per family, like you're looking at like 60 to 80 people being affected and only costing $100,000. It's a little more than 1,000 a piece. Expensive, but I mean, as far as natural disasters go, that is pretty good. Why did I get rid of my poop for the purple heart? That was kind of a stupid decision. Ouch. But yeah, as I was saying, I got really lucky. My family got lucky. Like pretty much everybody, actually half my family that lives in this town didn't even get touched. Like, so when I ended up getting evacuated, I ended up going to my uncle's place, because his place is just sitting above the water. And he's like, yeah, just like, yeah, it was hilarious and like horrible at the same time. But yeah, for the most part, like I was saying, my house was basically untouched. There were some issues, but for the most part, the issues with my like were mostly like, yeah, there was major flooding, so your yard is now shit. I can't really think of a better way to explain that than that. Like, yeah, there was some flooding, so the yard got messed up. We had some snakes and stuff in the yard that needed to be cleaned up. But yeah, other than that, like it's one of those. It's been taken like it took like a week and change of constantly cleaning to get it cleaned up. But yeah. Well, as I was saying, as for like character creation, one of the major reasons that it's been on hiatus is mostly just a lack of availability on some of my like some of the people that I play tabletop games with, which I realize isn't so much isn't important so much. Like in theory, I could still do the series without them, but for the most part, like I don't really feel comfortable about telling people how to make characters that I don't or I haven't made. Like, I could just like go through and be like, hey, yeah, I just read this book. Here's how you make the character. And like I said, like I'll be completely honest, there are a couple of the vampire. Like I haven't made every single type of like every single clan of vampire. I have made a bunch of them though, so and for the most part, a lot of the stuff is well, here's some very specific things, but here's mostly general. Especially when you get into situations where you're talking about like yeah, the individual clan powers are very individual. However, when you're trying to explain to somebody like dexterity and strength and stuff like that, like no, those are all basic. They will remain the same for all of eternity. But yeah, I actually I have a bunch of books literally sitting right next to me that I've been reading. You have Werewolf the Forsaken, Mage the Awakened, Hunter the Vigil. Dang it. I hate when, like, that should never happen. I just keep getting sloppy. But yeah, like I was saying, I have a bunch of them. I also have the Warhammer books for Rogue Trader, like Rogue Trader, Chaos Marine, Space Marine, a few others that aren't sitting right next to me, so I can just kind of look over and read their title. But yeah. Let's see here. I got some spare bombs. But yeah, I do have like a bunch of them that I've been reading and I've learned for the most part how to do. I'm just kind of sitting in a situation where I'm like, I don't really have field knowledge of them, and I haven't really had a chance to play them, so I can't really, or I don't feel comfortable doing them, if that makes sense. Seriously, nothing? That's a dumb thing to do. Again, seriously, nothing? The hell? I'm not gonna ask questions. Anyway, continuing on what I was talking about. Yeah, so I do plan on getting the group together. Um, we have been talking about it, and it's just one of those things where I need to sit down and, well, a couple of them I need to read. I need to actually read, because I didn't really want to. I'm trying to think of how to say that without sounding too dumb. I didn't want to like get too ahead of myself and like, oh yeah, I know how to create 1,000 different characters for 1,000 different games. Like, oh shit, which game were we playing again? But because that is one of those weird things that does happen when you learn from a book without actually trying. Like, oh yeah, you're totally just accidentally placing blank into different things. I really wish it wasn't a thing, but it kind of is. Why did I just... I must be an idiot today. But yes, as I was saying, I've been working on trying to get the group to get a chance to meet up and basically play. It is a little harder than I'd like it to be, but with summer and everything, hopefully it should be a little bit easier on everybody. Or at least that's the hope anyway. I should probably pick that up. So that purple heart's basically just gonna make all the bad guys harder. And it's not helping that I'm just constantly making bad decisions. Like that. I have no clue why I let off the summoners go, or the alchemists go, but I want to say it was a misclick, but I've been playing this game too long to just misclick something that big. And then I have a ladder, and I keep forgetting to go up, or like to use the ladder to my advantage. They're like, oh yeah, you have the ladder. Just step on it, and most things can't get to you. Blue Mom. She's probably not going to come down a lot. Isn't it Blue Mom who doesn't come down a lot? Am I confusing Blue and Red Mom? You got Brimstone for me. If I didn't have my soul hearts, I definitely would have taken the shadow. But I think this would, in the long run, is a little more. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Yeah, so that series will be coming back if you enjoyed it. Also, if you didn't enjoy it, it's coming back anyway, so give it a try. I mean, you have nothing to lose. Trying to think if there's anything else that's fun or interesting coming up. I've been working on these personal pen and paper for a couple of, I don't want to say a couple of years. It's one of those things where I've been working on it off and on for like, well, I've been working on it off and on for years, but together I've probably put a good 2 or 3 like months of actually like working on it. Like it's one of those things where I'll do it for a couple of days and then just like set it down and not touch it again for months, if not longer. So, yeah. However you want to assume that I've worked on it, months or years or whatever. I'm planning on playtesting that with my friends at some point, so if I end up doing like a random like character creation guide for a game that you've never heard of, that might be it. I know it's a little bit of self-shilling, but as Jesse Cox says, advertise like a shameless whore. And if, like, it's one of those things where if the game's good, I'm planning on, like, selling the PDF for, like, $5 at, or online. I mean, nothing too big, just kind of one of those, like, hey, play it, if you like it, that's great, if you don't, that's fine, type of situations, but I don't know, it's one of those things, it's, like, been really fun to make, and I've changed, like, a lot of it, over the last, because at first it was, like, gonna be a, custom campaign for D&D, like, yeah, I'm gonna add in a couple of, like, custom, statistics and stuff like that, and then it got to the point where I'm like, well, you know what, I'm thinking this probably isn't a D&D game. So then I tried to change it a little bit to see if it would alter into like a storytelling game like World of Darkness. And then I'm like, well, it fits into those, but I'd probably be better off making an actual, like, personalized rule set for it. So, that's what I've done did. Made a personalized rule set. It's been coming along great since I've actually started working on it, like, actually. That is totally not how I meant for that to come out. But, well, like I said, like, I've been working on it, like, off and on. Like, I put a couple of things together, like, years ago. But I've only really been thinking about making it into its own rule set and then working on said own rule set for maybe since February. And I'm to the stage where, like, I've been done with it for a little bit less than a month now. And so I've just basically been waiting for a chance to playtest it. Seriously? I keep stepping into damage. I'm not even gonna make it to fight the fetus, am I? That was so stupid. Not stupid of the game, that was stupid of me. Are you kidding me? Let me in there. Oh, I hate fighting this guy as a boss. Cancer's nice. Let's see, I can either take flight, or I could take better flight. That also makes me look cool as fuck. Anyway, yeah, so that's a thing that's been happening. So I want to say look forward to that, but I'm like half a little bit nervous that I'm like I might never put it out. If it like I'm playing it with my friends and they're like, no, this is complete and total shit. I'm probably never gonna like even talk about it again. But for the most part, like the friends when I've talked to them about it, and I've like kind of mentioned some of the things I've changed or added in or made adjustments for, like they seem to have been pretty positive, but that was always like on an individual, like, hey, yeah, I was thinking about creating a like weight for like what I'm creating a stat for the or for the item you're doing, where weight actually matters in more than of a sense than, well, you can only carry X amount of weight. So, like, when you're going in with, if you're going to use your strength to attack, then you're using like the weight of the weapon as a modifier for your strength attacks. But if you're gonna use like your dexterity, well, your strength doesn't matter. Like, yeah, a 40-pound hammer is gonna be great for bashing some guy in the head, but it's gonna really suck if you're trying to trip somebody or like trying to wedge their armor off or something. So, like, yeah, there are going to be different stats that will involve, like, the negative or positive modifiers for different things you want to do. Like, yeah, if you want, you could totally use your hammer in a dexterous way where you're, like, getting in behind your opponent and trying to trip them up, but you're not going to get nearly as, or be able to do that nearly as well with a hammer as you would with, say, a staff or some other dex weapon. It's just stuff like that where, like, yeah, that sounds great individually, but it's a little worrying when you have, like, well, yeah, but now there's, like, 50 different things that are being changed. It's completely different from, like, D&D or... Oh, did I just guppy? Awesome. Now I feel kind of stupid for taking flying, but at the same time, I did get spectral tears, so not that bad. Do I want to check that? I kind of want to take that, but I don't really want to take that yet. This is seeming fun. There's just something about having cancer and guppy at the same time. It just makes you feel good on the inside. Anyway, so yeah, like, yeah, that's a little bit of a self-conscious thing for me at the same time. But actually, and that's also one of the other reasons why I was, so, like, when I, like, started the whole character creation series, like, that was one of my big push points towards it, because I'm like, hey, I'm wanting to actually make my own game. I should probably actually take a look at, like, because, like, yeah, I've been playing D&D and World of Darkness since, I think my first D&D game was before my age was in double digits. And World of Darkness was, like, early teens, I think? I mean, we're not counting, like, actual, like, just digitals. Like, yeah, definitely early teens. Because I was playing, well, what was it? Redemption. I played that when I was, like, before teenagers years, I think. Man, that was a long time ago, so I'm not even sure. Okay, I'm gonna get out of there real quick. through it. Love the card against humanity, but I hated it at the same time. If I had poop, this would be so much better. Because the chances of getting an actual decent item out of this is pretty shit without the petrified poop. Well, I got a heart, that's great. That's actually what I was hoping for. I was just kind of hoping to get more than one. Although, holy hell, I can almost guarantee that this run was completely because of Little Brownie. Like, I will happily admit that little guy is completely why I was able to survive the first handful of rounds before I started getting... I think Mom's... like... What is that one? The Mom tears that freezes people. That is probably where I was able to stand on my own, too. That's definitely it. Before that, like, literally. But yeah. Sucks. Like, the Pandora's Box is, like, a really good item mid-game. Like, if you can pick that up, if you can pick that up in Heaven, Hell, like, wait, is it in Heaven? Yeah. If you can pick that up either in Sheol or basically in Heaven or Hell. In Sheol or in the Cathedral. Or if you could pick it up in, like, in the Womb, I think is also a pretty good place for it. Awesome, that gives me 3 orbitals. But yeah, it's one of those weird items where, like, yeah, if you can pick that up in the middle of the game, because mid-game it counts as different items each time. Like early on it is like just some standard pickups. Like I think literally if you activate it in like the first handful of rooms, you get like, here's a handful of, ooh, that's nice. Here's a handful of keys and a handful of bombs. But if you can save it up a little bit and then pick it up later on, like during trying to think what they're actually called. If you can pick it up on the floor that has Mom in it, it does something like I think it gives you like 1 or 2 boss items depending on which floor you're on. If you pick it up in like, yeah, you get what I'm saying. I'd actually have to look at the wiki to know exactly how much of what it gives, but it's one of those items that mid-game is great, early game isn't horrible. I mean, it's a waste to use it early game because of how amazing it is mid-game, but late game, it gets to the point where it is basically worthless. Anyway, I've just wasted like an hour of your time talking about bullshit. So, closing statements, character creation is gonna be coming back, I promise. The Binding of Isaac is going to be a blog background. And I'm gonna be doing more videos soon. I've already been like getting ready, like trying to get I've been trying to get a couple of people so that we could try doing the new map when it releases. Although I'm thinking I'm just going to end up doing it myself so I can just waste time. Be like, hey, look at this thing over here. And hey, look at this thing over here. And just let minions fight in the middle. Like, not even have bots on it. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I mean, this was a pretty good run for me. Judas is one of the few characters I hadn't actually beaten everything on. I'll actually just show you that at the end of this, so get a couple of extra things in. Actually, with the size of my tiers, like how my tiers are working right now, one thing that'd be really awesome is if I could end up picking up, like, magic fingers. The magic fingers, if you don't know, are like a really weak early game item, but like late game item, it's fucking amazing. That's awkward. I mean, I'm fast as shit now. But, magic fingers is like a really nice item due to the fact that, well, plain and simple, it does the Necronomicon effect, but instead of just being another Necronomicon, it actually does go up with your power levels and stuff. So the more powerful your tiers, the better it will be, which is really nice and fun and useful. Now that's kind of ruined because I got Balin, or Libra, but since I already completed, there's really not much of a reason to do anything. Like killing all these monsters, I was just checking out what loot dropped on this here. So. There's nothing really game-breaking about any of this stuff. I do have Libra now, so if I could find, like, soy milk up here, like, that would be hilarious as shit. But I could probably, like, I could basically pick up an item that says something to the effect of, lose all of your stats. Like, oh yeah, your attack is now 0. Like, even without Libra, I could, if I picked up, actually, soy milk plus cancer plus guppy is pretty fucking broken. Basically, you create an infinite amount of flies almost every second. It is horrifying. But anyway, as you've probably seen, I'm not, like, the best at Binding of Isaac, but I am pretty... I don't want to say I'm pretty good, but, like, I'm average. I've done pretty good on it. In hard mode, as you can see, Magdalene and, like, Magdalene, Lazarus, and The Lost are the only ones I haven't been, like, gotten everything on hard mode on. And Lazarus, well, I've gotten one on because of the Lazarus wraps. The Lost, yeah, this guy is horrible. Just kind of demonstrate, a single thing just kills you instantly. So even going in and just checking the cursed room is like a death sentence. Like, there are like 3 items that can appear in the cursed room that basically can stop you from dying. Actually, wait. You could either get the Guppy's tail or the dead cat. Yeah. Because these, like, the blue shield thing that allows you to take damage, I think can only be picked up in the angel room or treasure room. Anyway, as I was saying earlier before I went to go show how far I am in the Binding of Isaac, I hope... Oh, also, I got all the challenges, so that was another thing. Like I said, I've been doing pretty good in it. Not the best, but I'm pretty good. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and well, have a wonderful day.